They say a Nigerian boarding school does not welcome you gently. It initiates you. For 14-year-old Tunde Adeyemi, the initiation began on a humid Sunday night inside Kuti House. Tunde arrived with everything his mother thought he needed to survive school. A wooden locker, a bucket, a student mattress, and the belief that this place would simply be school. He was wrong. Because in a boarding school hostel, there are two governments. The one run by teachers, and the one run by students. And tonight, the students were in charge. Suddenly, a loud voice exploded through the hostel corridor. "All juniors fall out now!" Students jumped down from their bunks. Doors flew open. Buckets fell. Mattresses dragged across the floor. New students scrambled into the night like frightened chickens. Nobody wanted to be the last boy outside, because the last boy outside usually regretted it. In the center of the hostel courtyard stood the man everyone feared. Iron Blade. Tall, muscular. An SS-3 labor prefect with the personality of a military commander. He walked slowly in front of the trembling juniors, studying them, measuring them, judging them. Then he spoke. "You boys think this is your father's house?" No one answered. Of course they didn't, because everyone already understood the truth. This was Kuti House, and Kuti House had its own laws. Behind Iron Blade sat a group of seniors watching the spectacle. Among them was a boy whose name carried quiet power. Prince, the hostel governor. He did not shout. He did not threaten. He simply watched. And somehow, that was worse. Standing in the line, clutching his mattress like a life jacket, was Tunde. Completely confused. Completely terrified. Completely new. A boy beside him leaned over and whispered, "First time in boarding school?" That was Zeno. Zeno had the relaxed confidence of someone who had already learned the rules of the jungle. "Relax," Zeno murmured. "Just obey seniors and try not to die in the first week." Iron Blade raised his hand. "Tonight," he announced, "every junior will receive a school father." Some boys exchanged nervous glances. They had heard about this system, but hearing about it and living it were very different things. Names began to echo across the courtyard. "Samuel! Toby!" One by one, juniors stepped forward to meet the seniors who would control their hostel lives. Some were lucky. Some were not. Then Iron Blade called out, "Tunde Adeyemi." Tunde stepped forward. His legs felt strangely heavy. Iron Blade studied him for a moment, then pointed at Zeno. "You," he said. "He is your school father." Zeno grinned. "Congratulations," he whispered. "You just survived your first 5 minutes." Around them, the hostel slowly returned to its strange nightly rhythm. Some boys washed plates at the tap. Some scrubbed toilets under senior supervision. In a corner of the hostel, a serious-looking boy named Pastor Daniel was already gathering students for night prayers. Near the window, Kola, the rich kid, quietly opened a bag of imported biscuits from visiting day, while several hungry boys watched with silent envy. And moving silently through it all was Musa, the quiet observer, the boy who seemed to understand everything about hostel life, is, without saying very much. As he passed Tunde, he whispered something strange. "Observe first, speak later." Later that night, the hostel lights finally went off. The room fell into darkness. Dozens of boys lay on thin mattresses. Some whispered. Some prayed. Some simply stared at the ceiling, wondering what kind of place they had entered. Tunde closed his eyes and tried to sleep. But sleep did not come easily in Kuti House. Because just when the room finally became quiet, a furious voice exploded through the darkness. "Who stole my bread?" The entire dormitory sat up instantly. Torchlight flashed across the room. Footsteps approached. The beam stopped at Tunde's bed, and under his pillow was a loaf of bread. Tunde stared at it in disbelief. "I didn't." But before he could finish, a senior grabbed him by the arm. "Thief?" From the upper bunk, Prince watched the scene silently. Then he smiled, just a little, as if this was only the beginning. Because in Kuti House, the first night was never the hardest night. It was only the introduction.